and welcome to the Mystic Mondays YouTube channel. I'm Grace, and we are doing a deck unboxing of the Guided by Spirit deck by Aja Daashuur and Justin Daashuur, a wife and husband duo, with Aja as the writer and creator behind this deck, a spirit guide coach, and psychic medium. And I also had Aja as a podcast guest on the Graced podcast, where we talked about themes of the Emperor Tarot card, building a strong foundation for oneself, and how to work with your spiritual team. Make sure to check out that podcast episode linked here. And if you are interested in creating your own deck as a multi-deck creator myself, I do have a course where I teach you how to create your own deck, which outlines every step of the deck creation process, including how to get started. Find out more about the Create Your Deck Club at cydc.mysticmondays.com, which will also be linked in the description box. Welcome to another deck unboxing on the Mystic Mondays channel. We'll be looking at the deck box, guidebook, card art, as well as conducting a deck interview. And at the end of the video, we'll be doing a card pull for the collective to see what messages this deck wants to give you at this time. I am a deep believer that decks have different personalities, so we'll be using a deck interview spread from my Mystic Mondays Tarot journal. If you want to use this deck interview spread for yourself, the link is in the description box to view the blog article on mysticmondays.com. Let me know what you think about this deck by leaving a comment below. Like this video if you'd like to have this deck in your collection, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more Mystic unboxings on your feed and in the inevitable future. Now let's get started. This is the deck unboxing of the Guided by Spirit Oracle deck. And this deck is channeled and made with love by Aja Daashuur and Justin Daashuur Hopkins. And they are a married couple, so they collaborated on this deck together. Aja channeled the writing, and then Justin did the artwork. And Aja was on the Graced podcast for the Emperor episode, so definitely make sure to check that out. We did a collective reading in that episode where she did a reading with her cards. So this is a self-published deck, meaning it's only available on her website. And as you can see here, it comes with a guidebook that is full of channeled messages from Aja. And it comes with artwork of the cards inside here, and I feel like the cards are really beautiful. You know, there's like a collage style to the cards. Inside the box it says, "You are not alone," which I feel like if you're going through it and in the beginning of your spiritual journey, it can feel really isolating and alone. And I know that also speaks to Aja's personal experience, you know, opening up to spirit and basically changing her entire life to become a channel. And we definitely talk about that inside our episode and inside our podcast episode. Oh, and this is a magnetic keepsake box here with the flap. You can see the magnets here, but it feels really nice when you open the box. So let's go through these cards. I feel like these cards are really like a good size to be able to shuffle. Let's see how many cards there are. It doesn't say, but I would say like maybe 50 of them. And there's gold foil on the back of the cards, as well as on the sides. And these cards are matte. So let's go through all the cards so you can see the artwork. And all of these cards have this like collage style, illustration style to them. I feel like they're really like graphic, and I'm just gonna turn this around. I definitely like went through these before when I opened them for Aja's episode, and I remember just like going, wow, these are beautiful. So there's gold foil as well on the title of the cards. I think this is what we pulled during the episode Charles Water, as well as Monty Fire, and I believe those are the names of Aja's guides. This one's a rest. It's nice, boundaries. I'm just gonna put them in whatever order I feel. This feels like a really intuitive deck, so that resonates. I feel like with other deck unboxing videos, I tend to go in order, but I'm being called to just put them wherever feels right. Ooh, I love this one. I have a thing for rainbows. Gold, roots, seasons, wisdom. Love how just the imagery of how this figure is put together, because you can see the snake coils, but that also makes up the figure of the being. I wanted to say human, but who knows if that's human. Freedom and hunger. Alright, so what I'm going to do, since this is a fairly new deck, I'm going to use the Tarot Deck Interview Spread, which is from the Mystic Mondays journal, which is a journal that I authored and created with Chronicle Books. And so we're just gonna get to know this deck by using this tarot spread and the questions here for this spread. And if you want to use the spread for yourself, you can do so inside the tarot journal, but you can also go to the blog post on mysticmondays.com, and I will include a link for that. But for now, I am going to just shuffle here, and let's get to know this deck. I also like to do this sometimes, just to really get the cards shuffled here. And I do feel like, you know, different decks have different energies, and, you know, it's like a friend, and the creator of the deck is typically like the voice of the deck, right? So it'll be interesting to note what comes through in this deck interview, and also can speak to like how you want to use the deck, you know? So, number one, what is the energy of this deck? What is the energy? Freedom! Wow, I love that. And then, how can this deck best support me? Got rest. It's funny because this card definitely stood out when I was going through all the artwork. What is this deck's strengths? Okay. We've got Isabella Air. So I definitely feel like really connected to the ethereal realms. What is this deck's weakness? Gold. Interesting. And In what realm will we best communicate? Flight. Yep, I do feel like this deck is really connected to ethereal realms, higher realms. How will our relationship develop? Failure. Interesting. And then, what guidance can you offer me at this moment? Darkness. You know, it's really interesting because when I was driving to my art studio this morning, yeah, so the song is called I See Darkness in You by Red Mecca, and I basically got familiar with this song by watching Killing Eve, which is like one of my favorite shows. It's just funny because I do feel like I'm resonating with this because I feel like there's a lot of themes around like facing your shadows to really like get to the light of yourself and who you are and breaking patterns and, you know, experiencing this freedom, which is the energy of this deck. For me anyway. You can definitely feel free to see how this energy applies to you. So I feel like, you know, with the rest card, it's really telling me to connect more with spirit, to find time for myself. And I'm gonna look up Isabella Air because I think that's the name of one of her guides, and I'm not completely sure what that means. So I will say that this is not in alphabetical order. So I'm gonna see if I can find Isabella Air. Might be in the beginning. Oh, there she is. I am the energy of surrender, the trust that envelops you once stepping into the unknown, eyes closed in fear and resignation. I wish for you to move as I do, without apprehension, without resistance. I help you dance through changes the wind brings to your door. Life can carry you to places never imagined. Simply release expectations and the rule of should. Let go. How can you surrender? Wow. I love that. It was really beautiful. Yeah, there's definitely like a theme of letting go of control and surrender here. And I feel like there's like this energy of trust as well that's happening through this deck. Because I feel like some of these messages that okay, like for example, darkness, which is here, and what guidance can you offer me at this moment? Darkness can hold great secrets. Knowledge and epiphanies abound despite the curtain you have drawn across the sun. This is only true when taken in doses that are in alignment with the body and mind. When overdone or left to fester, darkness can begin to cover your entire body like moss upon a wet stone. You must learn when to cast it out with a sharp voice. Point out its shape and call it by name: fear, regret, shame, doubt. Are you hermiting or hiding? Turn on your light. Wow, that super resonates. I was thinking about how sometimes shame can be a way for you to hide, and I know that's something that I was like working through on my end of these emotions that make you want to hide yourself, you know? So yeah, that really, really resonates. So that was cool. I do want to look up gold here because that is, according to this spread, this deck's weakness for me. So let's see. All right, you sparkle. You have been touched by angels, thighs pressed into the flanks of your steed of destiny, together in rhythm, the beat of your heart, connected in harmony with your purpose. Your intuition and trust has led you here. There is no more room for doubt. It has shriveled like a raisin in the sun. What do you see? What do you wish? Take it, drink from the cup of life and be full. Wow. So what I'm getting from this deck and its energy during this tarot deck interview, well, this is an oracle deck, but still applies. I feel like there's definitely a theme of this deck being connected to the higher realms and kind of like working through some darker emotions and darker feelings that might come up from time to time, and working through that by realizing the gold within, myself, and if this resonates with you, for yourself as well. So being able to share your light, being able to sparkle, and like, I think a way to do that obviously is to become friends with your shadow, or accept your shadow side for what it is. So there's a lot of like trust and acceptance here in this interview spread. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up by pulling one card for the collective. And I like to do that like this. And I'm just gonna see what card is pulling me. What card does the collective need to see today in this video? Ooh, oh my god, you can't make this up. I got Shadow and Light. Wow. That is literally the theme of this video, it seems. Okay. So, Shadow and Light. We are the cosmos, filled with shadow and light. You and I have been blessed with the ability to reason and to feel where space is needed, and when we have trapped ourselves into a darkened corner of our reality. Without balance, we become lost. Without shadow, we cannot recognize the light. What weight grows heavy in one hand, while the other snaps its finger for your attention. Wow. Yeah, definitely a theme of shadow and light, and I feel like this is a really good deck to integrate those aspects of oneself, because neither is good or bad. And I feel like in tarot and other spiritual like avenues, duality is such an important aspect of all of it, right? So having the shadow and light gives us perspective. It makes us human, because we all have shadow and light within us. And I think some of the best movies, I don't know why I'm thinking about Lord of the Rings, but obviously there's like a clear theme of shadow and light, and it's very epic. And I feel like we are all the own, heroes or heroines of our own story. And part of that is facing our own shadow and light as well. So that is it for today. Thanks for being here. Bye! Like this video? Check out other deck unboxing videos, tarot lessons, as well as timeless tarot readings on the Mystic Mondays channel. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.